Welcome back. Hope you're ready for today's show because it's Truck Boss Show time. Today we have Mark Anthony, The Storm, FMCSA Hours of Service Exemption Denial with Pronto, mirrorless camera system, Cali AB5 and the Labor Department, an Elephant Trucker, and MyTruckerLife Part 1. As you know, we love to hear about our professional drivers and the awesome stories you have to share. I got to visit with Mark Anthony, no, not the singer. He's known as The Storm, so let's check him out. What made you come and join and say, hey, I'm gonna be a driver, this is what I want to do?
It was like 8 years ago, and I was fresh out of law enforcement. Like that day, I came out of law enforcement, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? I need to do something. So I thought about my mom, and my mom, she had her CDL license and she had just retired maybe like a year prior or so. And I thought, you know what? Her license did a lot for her. You know, she drove city buses down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she retired. And I just thought, you know, I do admire that about my mom. You know, she did something that was more manly, but she did it, she got it done, and she shined. You know, she even got accolades, awards, and things. And I thought, you know what? I mean, maybe that's where I should be, whether it's, you know, buses or trucking, but trucking's a little bit more, you know, of something I'd like to explore because I like to see different places. And so it was, so it started 8 years ago. And I did have a little inkling that I might do this a long time ago. And it all has to do with an arm wrestling movie called Over the Top with Stallone. And I remember the first time I saw that movie and the very opening scenes, it shows him winding around the mountains, you know, like around, you know, like up there. And I remember looking at that and thinking to myself for just a moment, what if that's what were doing? What if I were a truck driver like him? And look at it, this is where I am now. So
you're out there doing bigger things. Talk to me about this. What you got going on here?
I guess you're referencing toward the YouTube channel.
Yes. You're like a big celebrity, or maybe you are a big celebrity. I don't know, but you're very popular.
Today I'm coming home. It's just passing through. There's a little bit of a truck issue that I have to take care of. We'll get into that.
Is that I know that everything that I do is going to affect somebody. So why not use that? And, you know, whenever like the truck breaks down or there's an issue or even if it's, you know, even more for the positive, the other side of the YouTube channel is that I do like these adventures going out to different locations and things. And that's a way of a truck driver to just not sit in a truck, but to go out and explore, because we have this opportunity that is actually sitting right in front of you to see so many places and be more, you know, understand of the cultures.
Talking about this little guy right here, the Mavic Air 2. So let's get after it.
There's so much that you can explore and learn, and so, you know, why not take this opportunity as a truck driver and do that. So the YouTube channel is geared toward being positive, spreading positive, and also helping. You'd be surprised, I'm surprised, how many people have gotten into trucking because of my channel. When I started doing this YouTube channel, let me tell people how I got started. So then if they're out there wondering about their life, like their life has just hit a roadblock, and especially right now in these times, you'd be surprised. But no, it's no surprise. Everyone is at a roadblock. A lot of people do not know what they're going to do with the rest of their life because they lost their job.
It's pretty cool that what you do is letting everyone know, listen, this is how I got started. This is what I went through.
If anybody is interested in following the channel, if they've never seen it, it's spelled in one word. Just look up Mark Anthony Storm, MarcAnthony STORM, just one word.
He's pretty awesome. Storm, thank you for that. Let's go to Carlin, who has an update on hours of service exemption denial with Pronto.
Isela, we know several of our viewers were interested in this story. Pronto, the company behind the advanced driver assistance system called Copilot, has had their request for HOS exemption denied by the FMCSA. Basically, the administration said that Pronto couldn't prove that an exemption from HOS rules would be safer, meaning that even while using the co-pilot system, stress and fatigue on drivers was still prevalent. The agency went on to say around 300 people commented on Pronto's request, with more than 290 of those comments opposing it, citing lack of safety statistics for the ADAS, lack of federal framework, and the fear Pronto would get an unfair advantage. Now, Isela, tell us about the latest development with mirrorless systems.
Well, things are definitely changing for sure. The FMCSA is granting a waiver allowing digital mirror systems that replaces standard rear view mirrors on trucks. The FMCSA stated that it provides CMV drivers with an enhanced field of view when compared to the required rear vision mirrors, because it eliminates blind spots on both sides of the truck, expanding the field of view, high-definition cameras, and monitors with features as color night vision, low light sensitivity, and glare reduction. Make sure you check out the complete article to see what companies have been approved. Carlin, what's going on your end?
Alrighty, Isela, we've been following California AB 5 since it was created. Now it seems like the federal government is making a similar move. The Department of Labor is proposing new rules for employee classification. To be rolled out under the Fair Labor and Standards Act, it's similar to California's ABC test, where a sort of checklist will be used to determine if an employee is a contractor or not. Now, the new rule will use what's called economic realities test. It's got several parts, so we won't go through all of them this week, but we'll explain more in the coming weeks. Though these new rules are aimed at giving more states with looser definitions of contractors proper federal guidelines, it will bring up some interesting questions for owner-operators. However, we can kind of use what's happening in California as a pretty good example of how they'll be impacted. And the short answer is, we don't have the full answer yet. Right now, truckers in California have been given an exemption due to the federal commerce law known as F4A, which basically says states can't create laws that impact interstate commerce. But the DOL regulation would be a federal law, so you see how it could be confusing. Now, we're reaching out to some experts now to get more information for you guys so you'll know. We'll bring you all the latest developments as soon as we have them. Now, Isela, why are we talking about a man in an elephant costume?
Well, just when we think we've seen it all. A truck driver was filmed driving while dressed as an elephant. In the video, the truck driver can be seen wearing a furry elephant costume over his head as he's driving. He then turns towards the filming truck driver and for a moment takes his hands off the steering wheel before hitting the gas and pulling ahead of the filming driver. The owner of the company where the driver is employed defends the driver, stating there is no specific law against wearing an elephant mask while driving. I'd like to know, how would you respond if you saw this on the road? Carlin?
It takes a special type of person to be a professional driver, and that special something extends to their family as well. But sometimes drivers and their families need help. That's where the new website called MyTruckerLife comes in. We sat down with one of the co-founders of the site to find exactly what they're offering to drivers and their families.
What is MyTruckerLife, and how did it begin?
How do you have a healthy family when you're gone from each other all the time? And then it's kind of like the light bulb went off, and it's funny because Julie, who's the president of First Things First, she had this idea. Hey, we need to take our content, but yet have a focus, have a niche of professional drivers. She and I came together and just said, hey, how can we partner? I know trucking, you know families, and there's definitely a need for that. Let's come together and work through creating a program that is just full of content that is focused on people that are separated for a week, for 2 weeks at a time, and how can they keep a healthy family environment.
How does this content work? How can drivers utilize it? What does it look like when they log in? Things like that.
There's really two ways that drivers can utilize it. Number one, they can buy their own subscription. So it's $99 a year, and you just create an account. That account is for you and for your family. All the resources are available then. The second option, and this is what we really see is what we're focused on, is that carriers will buy an unlimited subscription for their professional drivers. You can call them classes. And my favorite one, and you may have heard me talk about it, it's called parenting from a distance. How can you be a parent and you're not there?
Right.
And so parenting from a distance. So it has a video, but then also a downloadable curriculum to go with it. And so every video has its own curriculum. That's really the pattern that we have for the classes, is video with the supplemental curriculum. But then we've got all kinds of more, I would call them articles. So it's just reading. There's not an interactive video there. really allowed us the opportunity to ask the question specifically to carriers, hey, if you were in your professional driver's shoes, how would you handle conflict if you weren't going to see each other for the next week? If you know you're about to leave for 2 weeks, what are those last 2 hours like? You need to make sure they're a good last 2 hours, or now you leave and you're frustrated. And so that leaving and then coming back those first 2 hours. And so what's the process for that? And so when you ask that specifically, for those of us, and I mean, I travel a good bit, but nothing like that. When you go, wow, that would be so difficult. And so it's just been interesting to specifically ask that question, and people realize, man, that would be tough,
Yeah.
And so hopefully that's where with our launch we've really brought to light. And now that we're entering this, it's called a driver shortage now. It's one of those, if we want to keep folks on the road, we need to make sure they have healthy families. And so, a lot of times let's just have the conversation. I really think the conversation is being had over the past month, and just people realize that even though they knew it was tough, but when you ask that specific question, they go, whoa, ooh,
Right.
I don't know that me and my family can handle that. That's right. That's what makes it tough on the professional drivers.
Exactly. Giving them a different perspective of what if you were in their shoes. So it's definitely something that needed to be asked, and it's good that it's finally getting there.
Yeah, that's right.
MyTruckerLife, that's a really cool thing out there, and a website. So if you guys are maybe struggling, trying to be a family person while you're out on the road, check that out, because they can give you some cool advice and things like that. And again, that is just part 1 of our 2-part series with MyTruckerLife. So we'll give you a little bit more. Hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss it.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard for a lot of the drivers that are out there. You miss your family, and to deal and cope with it. That's pretty cool that they're doing stuff like that for them.
And same with the families, because obviously they miss them when they're out on the road for weeks at a time. So definitely check it out if you're interested in that. Their website will again is posted in the comments below.
And well, speaking of being out on the road, hours of service changes started this past Tuesday, and here are some of the things that you're going to need to know. Of course, short haul exception, adverse driving conditions exception, 30-minute break requirement, and sleeper berth provision. But we're going to hook you up with that link so you can check it all out.
That's right. All those details will be posted in the link below, so that way you can see it at your own leisure and things like that, because honestly, we could be in the weeds all day talking about that.
And we don't have
stuff.
time for that
Yeah,
today.
we don't. All right. So this week for our extra, we're talking to Julie Dillon with the St. Christopher Fund about the health challenge that they did, and explain how everyone went home a winner. So you don't want to miss that one. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for it.
And next week, we're going to be having our favorite duo, Matt and Joey. We're also headed back to Central Tech for part 2 of our series.
Yep, so don't miss next week's show. And don't forget, we are also doing our giveaway. Next week is the announcement, so if you haven't entered yet, you still have time. Get that done, but you don't want to miss this box giveaway. Come on, guys. It's free stuff. All you got to do is comment. That's it. Go watch the video.
We hook you up all the time.
All the time.
It's just so cool because we are the Truck Boss Show.
That's right.
Everybody loves the Truck Boss Show.
And we love giving you swag. So enter the contest, win. There you go. That's it. That's all you got to do.
And we're also going to be announcing our new box giveaway.
That's right. And then we're going to be announcing next month's Boss Box giveaway. So
you get to
more
see where we're going to be hooking you up with.
Right? And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, invite your friends, invite your family to like us, so that way we can keep bringing you all this awesome content, because we can't do this without you guys.
And why do we do this?
Because you're the boss.